AgTech is really pushing the idea that we can get to a $100 billion industry by 2030. The recent economic report that AFI has compiled looking at the potential benefit of AgTech to the agricultural economy estimated that if everything we know about AgTech was adopted immediately, then that would boost the agricultural economy by $20 billion. What we've been doing with this conference over the last couple of days is looking at one of the really critical elements of getting AgTech to work, which are the people that make it work. So the conversation has been about the technology, but going along with every piece of technology is a person that's operating it, pushing the buttons, or either developing the technology, developing the software, and we've been trying to have a conversation around where are those people coming from, where's the training coming from, have we got the cultures right, all those sorts of things.
So how do you define AgTech? I mean, we've had technology in agriculture forever. There's been the stump jump plough, of course, but that's not what we're talking about here, is it?
You're absolutely right, it's not new, it's been around for a long time. Even the digital side of things, if you talk about precision agriculture, that's a few decades old now when you think about the very first auto steer system and first yield monitors. The new bit that has really been transforming what farmers experience, so has really only been over the last few years, is how data is being gathered from all that gear and all that technology to be analysed for further insight. So the data is starting to inform new decisions, to generate new ideas, and the skills and capabilities that are required on the data side of things is both raising a lot of questions about where they're coming from, and the other interesting thing is that new side of the technology is bringing a lot of new people into agriculture. So it's an exciting field, and people that are coming from other industries are seeing it as exciting and say, we see a potential for a data product in agriculture and we're going to come in and build something. So, both reskilling the people already in agriculture as well as providing that agricultural background to others that are coming in from outside of agriculture is a challenge that we have at the moment.
Is that a threat to the culture of agriculture when you've got the movers and shakers coming from outside agriculture, from IT and from finance?
That's a really interesting discussion that we've been having over the last couple of days here, is there is this difference in culture between the farming culture, the established farming culture, and the tech developers that are coming in. They work on different business models, they work on different ideas about iterative development of technology. They'll put something out there that might only have 60% of the features fully finished, and then they keep developing that once it's out in the marketplace. That's a different sort of model to what farmers have been used to. So there certainly is an element of communication, both for farmers and for technology developers, to understand how each other work so that we can maximise the benefit out of both sides. It is getting better, there's no doubt. We are a long way away from perfect by any stretch. So just that, sort of purely infrastructure element of making all these things work, we've got to get that right. Then there is just the trust and confidence issues around willingness to participate in what essentially is a data economy, which is where the value is going to be derived. And you've only got to look at a lot of the things that are happening around things like Cambridge Analytica and Facebook and Google. There's justification for a wariness about, all right, we're going to start getting our data out there from our farms. So being confident that it's for the right reasons, that there's going to be a value returned on it, I don't know that we've really breached that trust barrier yet. So I think there's a bit of work to be done around that as well.
Now, the Australian Farm Institute has brought together this Digital Farmers Conference. What's AFI's role in helping AgTech to blossom and grow in this country?
One of the things I've been really pleased about with this conference is the diversity of the audience. And I think that's a role that AFI fills, in that our audience is all of agriculture and the whole value chain and the research sector and government. And all of those people need to come together and work together to be able to make AgTech work really well. So in our audience, we have representatives from the whole of value chain, and I think that's where we can work effectively to get those matching of culture by just getting people in the same room and talking about what the issues are.
And research particularly as well, I suppose.
We've been doing research on the economic benefit, on the implementation barriers, and looking at policy positions that might be considered to around those trust issues, for instance. So is there a role for there's not always a role for government to play. Often you don't want government in there, but perhaps there is a role somewhere for some sort of regulation around data rights, and this is certainly happening in the rest of the economy. Consumer rights for data that would build that confidence that people start participating in the market.
Richard Heath, thanks for joining us on the Anvil.
Thanks, Darryl.